Morning, everyone. Today is Sunday. It's April 21st. This is day 64, I think. Anyway, just getting started this morning. Slept down in a gap last night. Problems with gap. When you come out, you got to go uphill. So we'll be heading uphill. We're planning on doing another 15 today. Supposed to be cool all day long, so might get some good hiking in. I think the high today is only supposed to be like 46. Supposed to be cloudy all day. I don't know what kind of views we're going to get. Hopefully there's some nice ones. Loaded up with water, so it's going to be a little difficult heading up the hills. But we've got an 8-mile stretch with no water source other than what you see right behind me. So we had to sort of camel up this morning and make sure we have plenty of water. So we're going to head up the trail and we'll see what we find. You know, one of the things out here on the Appalachian Trail that you really look forward to are those town meals. Out on the trail, you got trail food. It's either the option of something cold, which usually just crackers or tortillas with something stuffed in them. Tuna, chicken, something like that, maybe peanut butter and jelly. Or if you want something hot, you get something dehydrated, like mashed potatoes, stovetop stuffing, or the dehydrated meals. And don't get me wrong, those are good and we're thankful for them. But after a while, you get tired of eating them. So one thing that we were looking forward to today, it's going to be really good. We're passing an outpost that's supposed to have good home cooking, or cheeseburgers or deli sandwiches. It's supposed to be really good on the far out app. Everybody brags and raves on it. Bluegrass and I were talking last night. Found out it's closed on Sundays. So that's kind of a big letdown. I was looking forward to that big juicy cheeseburger and maybe a plate of vegetables. So now we got to wait till we get to the hostel, which is about 3 days away. We have plenty of food and we're thankful for it. It's just the same old. It's either crackers or mush. But it keeps us going, it nourishes our body. So we're thankful for it. Starting off with the tunnels this morning. And while we're looking at the tunnel, let me acknowledge trail. Monuments.
Another thing I guess you gotta do.
Yeah. Beautiful out through there with the leaves starting to come out on the trees. The flowers. The seasons are changing. Had to stop up here, take a quick video of this valley. I tell you, I never stop being in awe every time I come up to a place like this where you see this. It just puts you in awe of this great country, this great world. And that never gets old. May get old for you guys watching, but it never gets old for me. It's another view of that same valley. Wanted to video this right here. Looks like an area where they had a little bit of a forest fire. This doesn't look like a controlled burn. It looks like a forest fire. But what's amazing, when you look at this, Bluegrass just pointed that out. Look underneath where the forest fire was. Look at all these pines starting to come back out and regrow. That's the power of nature, folks. They're regrowing. 10 years from now, you'll never know there was a fire here. Had some pretty smooth hiking today, so far anyway. Gave Bluegrass and I some chance to talk. We were talking about doing these videos and how difficult it was to get started. Now you learn after a while, you just talk about what comes to mind. But when we first got started, it was difficult. And sometimes you do several cuts trying to get something out of your mind. And then you start realizing after a while, you might have meant to say something that didn't come out, or something comes out that you didn't mean to come out, but you just go with it. We got to talking about video editors. And both of us, I thought it was pretty interesting. Both of us went through multiple video editors to pull them down to free trial versions, trying to figure out which ones worked, which ones were easy enough to figure out. A lot of them worked well on the computer, but when you try to get to the phone, which is what you have to edit on out here, they didn't work so well, or they were difficult to figure out. So we went through several of them. I could go through and name a lot of them, but I forget most of them. I know Da Vinci was one. There were many of them. And they're all good editors. They all worked well. I think it's funny. I think both of us finally settled on Power Director because it worked so well on the phone. And it was easy to figure out. So just thought I'd talk about that, just let you guys know about that a little bit. If you're planning on doing this, give a plug for them. Because, you know, CapCut, I think there's Captain Jack and Bob Ross use CapCut. And I didn't like the fact that it left the CapCut symbol at the end of every one, but that may be because it's a free version. The paid version probably doesn't do that. But Power Director just seemed to work easiest for me. So I've had a lot of questions about what editing software I use, so just figure I'd let you guys know that so you can give it a try and see if it works for you. Looks like we're gonna be doing a little road walking for a while as we're heading across I-77. Don't know how far we'll be going on this road. I know you don't do a whole heck of a lot of this, but we will take it when we can get it. Yeah, and there's I-77 down there, and do see some people in the curve up there. There's a view of I-77 from above. This is between, or somewhere around Bland, Virginia. I forget the name of the other small town around here. Going across the bridge Going over I-77. Always interesting when you're going across the interstates. All the noise, you don't realize how much noise is generated. Or, like they say, you get more sensitized to the noise out here, or desensitized, so when you do hear it, it's like really loud. Also, we were talking earlier, when you talk about getting desensitized to things, we were walking down a dirt road and there was a family heading to church about 100 yards ahead of us. And it was amazing. We could smell the cologne from 100 yards away. So you do get desensitized very easily. Of course, they might have smelled us from 100 yards away as well, so. Got to keep a close eye out here for where the trail cuts off, so I'm gonna get off this thing so we can look where we're going. We've been hanging on this ridge pretty much all day. Pretty much having the same view. Yep. Pretty direct, staying right on the ridge with the same view. And for the most part, it's been pretty great cruisy hiking. We've had a few really steep uphills and really steep downhills, but they've been fairly short. But this is pretty cruisy. This is where we really should be like knocking down the long days. My mind wants to do 20s, at least 20-mile days. But my legs are saying hold it back to 15 and heal up a little bit, which is probably the smarter thing to do. This is one of the few times we can see on both sides of this ridge. We got a meadow down there, nice green fields. Come around, and there's green fields on the other side. Pretty area through here. A little bit of a steep downhill right here, but not too bad. Good thing about today, it's not been rocky at all. That's a welcome relief. Well, folks, sometimes the trail makes decisions for you, and this is one of them. This is where we were going to camp for the night. And this makes a 15-mile day. Problem is, we're about out of water, and there's not a speck of water around here. So we got to keep going because we both need water. The next water source is at the shelter. Forget the name of it, which is at mile 604, I believe. And it's an unreliable water source, but from every note I've read, it says it's still trickling a little bit, so you're just a little slow getting your water. So it's going to be, this is going to make about a 11 or 12 mile stretch with no water sources. So, as a matter of fact, it's going to be a 19-mile day, and there's only been one creek crossing the entire day. So, water's been a little bit scarce on this section of the trail. We normally carry plenty of water. Well, I say plenty of water. Normally we carry about a liter because there's so many water sources. This one we knew the water sources would be scarce, but we thought there'd be a few more because a lot of water sources show up that aren't on the map. So I went ahead and got a 1.75 liters for this section. But but it looks like everything, all the water sources that the map are showing is going to be all the water sources there are. So we're going to keep going. It's going to make it about a 19 to 20 mile day. But hey, we need to start doing those pretty soon anyway. Hey folks, we passed another major milestone. Look at here, 600 miles. Bluegrass, you know what we got to do here, buddy. Good job. All right, we got it. 600, guys. We still got a few more miles to go to the shelter, though. I want to get another view of this valley here. It's a different valley. With these green pastures, everything greening up. Just looks totally different than it did just a few weeks ago. Even up in the forest here, trees are starting to leaf out. Got a little crow talking to us. There he is, right up there. It's a little interesting reason to stop. There's a tree down there with bright orange flowers on orangish yellow. They're more orange than yellow. Never seen a tree with orange flowers on it, so don't know what that is, but it's beautiful. Anyway, trying to get it in there. Y'all can see it through the trees, so I hope you can see it. Okay, we're coming into the shelter now. It's about it says 100, but it's more like a 150-yard walk downhill to get to the shelter. This is where we're going to stay tonight. We've done about 19 miles. I think it's far enough. It's another one of those orange trees that I don't know what they are with the orange blooms, but they sure are pretty. Zoom in so maybe you guys can see it. This is not as full as the other one, but it still has those orange blooms on it. Likely going to stay in the shelter tonight rather than set up tents. Reason being, it's supposed to get down below freezing tonight. It's a whole lot nicer to get up in the morning when it's that cold and not have to worry about packing up a tent. That's a better way to put it. So we won't have to worry about that. Got the privy over there. Here the water source is still hard to find. This is the one that's got a questionable water source, but we're gonna see what we can do with it. Nice brand new picnic table. Yeah, this is where we're gonna stay tonight. This is the Jenny Knob shelter. So this is where we're gonna spend the night tonight. Not a big shelter, but it's big enough. And now we gotta go see if we can find water. All right, guys, getting close to the end of the day. The sunshine is going down. So we're seeing all of that. People have got their tents pitched over there. So we got everything going on. Got Atlas and Survey over here. So they'll say hey to you. And Bluegrass is standing right over there. They're all going to stay in the tents tonight. Bluegrass and I are going to stay in the shelter tonight. It's supposed to get down to somewhere around freezing, so we're going to get down in the shelters, and that way we don't have to put a cold tent back in our bags tonight. So anyway, until then, this is all we're going to video for tonight. Get the sunset right there, and this is Bandit, and we're still heading north.